Welcome back everyone to the GGBL. Got a quick episode here for you guys today, just taking a look at the trade day vote results. And we're also going to take a look at some of the simulation results through the month of July and the entire month of August, get you a standings update, so on and so forth. Just kind of like reset the deck before we start getting into a playoff push video. Now, guys, up on your screen, you'll see that all of the trades passed. So each one had 60% yes votes. That's like the threshold. That's the minimum requirement for a trade to pass, except for one move. And it was Richmond's Brady Dunn getting moved over to New Orleans. So, of course, Brady Dunn, obviously being a fan favorite of everyone's, didn't want to move him to New Orleans. So, little update here. So, a lot of these 2-for-1s or like 3-for-2s, those type of trades, if it's not 1-for-1, I had to go through the player movement screen and find players, like really bad players, to swap for guys that were big pieces of the trade so that we could swap pitcher for pitcher, positional player for positional player. Because sometimes some organizations, you saw it there, the little flash screen saying that they can't take on more pitchers or they're going to have less than a minimum requirement for pitchers on your roster. So anyway, so just showing you that screen as being transparent. So we did simulate the month of July and did a quick snapshot look to make sure that Janelle and John Choi were getting the same amount of at-bats. Pretty similar breakdown there. I was good with it, so I didn't necessarily really have to dive in and manage that each game by game. So your standings updates. NL wildcard. Things are looking pretty tight. You got the AL East look here. The Revolution are 7.5 back from the Pizzazz. You got the Cardinals 12 games above the next team there in second place, and I mean they are killing it. 30-something losses on the season, absolutely killing it. The Breeze, of course, being the second place team in the Central, they're leading the AL wildcard race. Do have some teams still in the mix here, got a long ways to go. Even the Reapers are still in it at 5 games back. The Coyotes, the former champs, they're 5 games back as well. But August gameplay is really going to be telling. August simulation, I should say. So we're here just looking at the Maples month of August. They rattled off a few wins there, so they're still hanging in there. Surprisingly enough, they went 5-5 in the last 10, and they're hanging on, man. They're hanging on. Even despite losing Avante Duckworth to Pittsburgh, they're hanging on. And so are the Hammers. They acquired Avante Duckworth, and still the Maples are playing better than them. They're a game and a half ahead of the Pittsburgh Hammers. So just kind of goes to show maybe Duckworth was a little bit of a cancer in the Wisconsin Maples dugout in the clubhouse there. So it was a good trade for both teams, it looks like, kind of keeping them both in the race. NL Central, looking pretty tight still. You got the Maroons up top, but second place, I think, is 4 games back. Emeralds in first place, half a game out, are the Gauchos. So they're still hanging in there. The Copperheads, Gauchos, the Moonshots. That's a big development there. I was hoping to see Miami's acquisition of Ricky Herring, that shortstop from Kansas City, getting them back into the race and just hanging on as long as they possibly can. The other big part is the Monarchs. How in the world did the Monarchs come through? They're in the playoff chase at this point. They were in last place in the NL Central. And as we go through, because of September call-ups, I already did this on my own when I was kind of scanning through in July. I was like, God, just get through. But I was already scanning through in July, just kind of the top performers in the minor leagues, guys that were pitching well, guys that were hitting well, and replacing players that might not have been doing so hot, maybe not even getting a lot of playing time. So I had kind of already made my decisions on who my September call-ups were going to be. So I'd end up moving those guys to the GGBL roster. Let the CPU decide who the 27th and 28th men were going to be for each respective team. But you can see your standings up here. You got the Bandits in the wildcard race, the Breeze. Only a game is separating the Swamp Monsters, the Cyclones, the Maples from reaching a wildcard berth. And we got a month left to go. A little under a month left to go. Cardinals have clinched. They got 90-plus wins. That offense is insane. I think that they're the only team with over 700 runs scored, which is just, I mean, you look at the rest of the field, I mean, they're killing it right now. The Copperheads still maintaining their hold on the wild card spot. The Good Boys, of course, playing well still. And really just kind of scanning through the rest of September, I didn't really see any games that would kind of make or break or give us a good feel for the playoff chase. Like, yeah, you could show LA and San Fran, or LA and San Diego, or LA and Seattle even. But honestly, guys, like where we're at in the calendar in September, showing you guys a one game of that week where we're at, it's not going to like shift us one way or the other. It's not really going to paint the picture of where we're at. So let's do a little bit more simming. Let's just keep gathering some of these updates and kind of go from there and see like what games we can show over the weekend. But did you guys see this? Look at what the Nashville Heat have done in this sim. September. They've won 12 straight games. And outside of that loss on September 1st, they could be looking at a 14-game winning streak if they had just won that game. How crazy is that? 12-game winning streak. And they're a game and a half back from the wild card. They're chasing the Copperheads, the Monarchs, the Gauchos, the Moonshots are tied with them. The Knights are tied. Grizzlies are somehow still in it. Grizzlies were selling off their veteran pieces, so they're kind of relying on their youngsters here. So the Grizzlies are a development. The Heat are a development. The Monarchs are a development. So a lot of shifting and moving around in the NL side. AL's looked pretty solid for the last month or so. The Swamp Monsters have lost 6 games in a row. Cyclones are 3-7 in the last 10. So, I mean, playoff picture's getting a little clearer, but some teams are not mathematically eliminated yet. But it is going to be an uphill battle for a team like Washington, being 4 games out of the wild card. Got a lot of teams in front of them, got a lot of teams to chase. So guys, next time I see you will be a jam-packed episode. We're going to give you guys a bunch of updates here with gameplay. We're going to look at Pittsburgh, Colorado, Oklahoma City, and San Antonio, Richmond, and Wisconsin. I want to see how the Maples are going to fare against a really good team, perhaps the best team in the NL. We'll also get Kansas City and Houston, maybe Chicago, Seattle, because those teams are both kind of fighting it out there in their respective divisions. So we'll have a jam-packed episode, little playoff push video, and then I'm thinking about maybe live streaming the last like day or two, maybe the last week of the season, because I feel like some of these races are going to come down to the wire, and we're not going to get that all in the playoff push episode upcoming. But taking a look here real quick at our MVP race in the AL, we got Kevin Stoitz just killing it still. The dude is a monster. Constant home run threat out there in Phoenix, really helping pushing them to the playoffs. You got KAJ and Buddy Kidd, 2 NL West opponents in the MVP race in the National League. So 41 home runs for KAJ. He's been fixed. He's fixed. He's finally coming through in his season 3. Is he finally going to start becoming the player that we all thought he would be? I think he might be. 41 home runs. Might get to 45. Cy Young Award race, kind of interesting there. 2 teammates with the AL. We got John Choi and Janine Rivera. Then on the other side, you had Elior in the NL. Kind of crazy. James Monroe, of course, leading the way there. Reliever of the Year award, you got Navarre for the Good Boys and Ijaz Piasfu on the Firebirds. Rookie of the Year, Yoma Kitkat, Estrada, and Baza Beasley. 2 of those guys are custom players, Baza Beasley and Kitkat. Plus, you got Bing and Vito Vega, 2 custom players on the NL side for the Rookie of the Year in that league. Kind of cool. I don't want the CPU guys winning Rookie of the Year, but, you know, Estrada's pretty good. We highlighted him in opening day for Wisconsin in Colorado. Looks like to be a good hitter. He looks like he's going to be a thorn in a lot of teams' sides. So next episode, guys, playoff push video. You guys can see the wild card for the NL and the AL. A lot left to be decided there, and we got some good ones. We've got Houston and Kansas City. We've got Boston and Phoenix. We got Richmond and Wisconsin, just kind of get an update there. Plus, we have a good one here between New Orleans and Nashville. I want to see if Nashville is going to continue with that winning streak, or is New Orleans going to snap it. Plus, they get Frank Giuliani, top prospect for them, top pitching prospect, gets his first ever GGBL start against Rocco Giavatello Jr., guys that were in the same draft class, but Giavatello Jr.'s got 30 starts and a very, very good record for a rookie. 15 wins for Mr. Giavatello Jr. Soft tossing lefty. Should be a nice matchup between those two. Plus, we get OKC and San Antonio. So, guys, that'll be the next episode, plus a few more games. I haven't really gotten that gameplay yet for the other games that I want to show, but hold on. Buckle up. It's going to be a big episode next time I see you guys. And then we're probably going to go live next Friday for the playoff push. be the last week of the season. So guys, leave a like if you like the scene. I'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.